Good afternoon. I'm Janine Costello-Lin with the Berkeley Historical Society, and today is April 1st, 2023, and I'm here with Lin I-Kuan, and Mr. Lin lives in Berkeley, and he has lived here. He came in 1965.
Yeah, 1965,
And you came from Taiwan.
Taiwan, yeah.
Taiwan.
Taipei, yeah.
Taipei, yes. So, where were you born, Mr. Lin?
In Taipei.
Taipei.
Taipei, yeah.
And how did you happen to come to Berkeley in 1965?
Well, my brother, second elder brother, was going to Cal. He was enrolled in mathematics department for his PhD degree, and it was easier, for us because we were going to work some time before going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did you live with your brother? Your older brother?
Yes. Since my third brother and I came here, we lived with him. He was already married at that time. At the time, and we worked with them. We lived with them until this following summer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when my third brother and I, and some friends, went to do summer job at San Jose canneries.
Yes.
That was very interesting.
That sounds hard.
It was hard because those are fruit assembly lines. There were several stages, in the fruit canning process, and you have to move, like truck inside the factory from a line to another line, very quickly, otherwise, the assembly line, would keep going and there will be no fruits. Yeah.
So it sounds nerve-wracking.
It's not that bad, When we were young, it was just busy all day long. Okay. And I remember, at night, we fell asleep really, really fast.
Yeah.
It was fun, yeah. Actually, I learned, a little bit Spanish from Mexican co-workers. Yeah.
That's very different San Jose. No Silicon Valley in 1966.
Yeah.
So going back to Berkeley, where were you living? Where did your brother and his wife live?
They lived in Richmond Annex area. San Pablo. Okay, if you go on San Pablo, you and head north. Okay, there's San Pablo crosses a little street called Wink. That's about near the San Pablo, near the City Hall, El Cerrito City Hall. Yeah, they live there. Yeah. Yeah.
Were there many other Chinese or other Asians in the neighborhood?
Well, Chinese, from the mainland, had not come.
Yes.
At that time, yeah.
Right.
At Cal at that time, most students, Chinese students, came from Taiwan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost entirely, from Taiwan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess when I'm thinking Chinese, I'm thinking Chinese ethnically, culturally, not just Chinese
culturally.
from China.
Okay.
Were there other
yeah.
they could be Chinese Americans.
Okay,
who've been here.
so if you call them Chinese, then that the Chinese students, at that time were all from Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And were there very many Chinese students?
There were quite a few. Yes, yeah, there were quite a few. I met many of my brothers' friends. Yeah, yeah,
And you mentioned that you worked first to get money so you could go to school, and you worked in restaurants. And were these Chinese restaurants?
Yeah.
Chinese?
No, not just Chinese restaurant. One time I worked in an American restaurant across the bay, and also at that time at the end of University Avenue there was an Irish restaurant called Brennan. Brennan closed a few years ago, and Brennan, when I worked there, Brennan was right on University Avenue. And several years later, Brennan moved inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do at Brennan's?
Busboy, okay. Peeling potatoes.
Irish, so they ate a lot of potatoes.
Irish, yeah. It was kind of fun, yeah. And the cooks, okay. Brennan was like a cafeteria, okay. There is a half-foot, counter, and the cooks, made the dishes, and you just pick what you want, okay. I remember they had very good roast beef, beautiful, and the cooks were Cantonese. They were, I think they were Chinese, in this country, immigrants from China, maybe not maybe second generation, and they were very friendly. Yeah, I remember I wasn't used to getting tips, right? Yeah, and I remember when I served the food and the customer gave me tips, I would turn them down.
But you learned eventually, I hope.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But then I didn't work as a waiter anyway.
If the cooks were Cantonese speaking, and you, I assume, only spoke Mandarin.
I can understand some Cantonese, some simple Cantonese. Yeah, yeah.
So your family, before they came to Taiwan, what part of China were they from?
Fujian, southeast. Fujian is the province next to Canton.
So your parents spoke Cantonese?
No. My family in Taiwan is something like the 9th generation in Taiwan. Yeah. So no, my parents only spoke so-called Taiwanese, which is a dialect of Chinese. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Taiwan was under Japan's territory from 1895 till 1945, right? End of our Second World War. And my parents, they live in Taiwan under Japanese rule for decades. Yeah, so they spoke of Japanese. Yeah, they spoke Japanese as well as Taiwanese. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, back to Berkeley and the restaurants. Did you work in any Chinese restaurants?
Yes, yeah. I think it was in Walnut Creek. I don't remember very clearly now. I did work at a Chinese restaurant as a dishwasher. They use machines, and you just load the dishes, into the machine to get washed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to work very fast too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But so, do you remember what Chinese restaurants there were in Berkeley?
I don't remember.
There weren't very
but
many.
It seems to be in Walnut Creek. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about places where you could get Chinese food already prepared? Were there places? Did you ever go out for Chinese food?
No, hardly. No.
And where did you find the ingredients to make your Chinese food?
The Grove and University, there was a market. I think we bought Chinese vegetables, noodles or things like that. Yeah.
You feel like there were enough Chinese around to make you feel comfortable, or did you feel like very few Chinese?
I didn't feel anything that's so, because my brother was a student at Cal, and he had friends who also came from Taiwan, and so we just mingle together. I feel comfortable. But of course, when we just came, the cityscape is so different from Taiwan at that time. I was really impressed. I remember, wow, this is very interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
What struck you about the difference?
Orderliness. It's very orderly and not so crowded. Okay, so everywhere it's pretty clean. It's clean. It's orderly. Like street signs, street lights. It's all very very different from what I was used to in Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess everyone drove cars too, right? 1965.
I often rode a bus. Yeah, I rode bus. From where my brother lived along San Pablo. There were just like easy transit like today, and I often took a bus to Brennan. At that time was just below San Pablo on University. So when I went to work there, I just took bus. Yeah, it's convenient.
Yeah. And how about learning English?
Oh, learning English. I learned quite a bit of English when I was going to school in Taiwan, from middle school, middle school and high school, especially, yeah, and some in college. Okay, so I was comfortable with speaking English here. Yeah.
So you had already completed college before you came here?
Yes. I finished college in 1964, and at that time college graduates, male graduates, had to serve 1 year in the military. So I served 1 year in the military after graduation from college. Yeah. Actually, the summer after the junior year in college, we had to go to summer, infantry training for something like 3 months.
Yeah. So you came here with the idea of being a graduate student.
Yes.
And so then you applied and got into University of Oregon.
Yeah.
And then you transferred to Oregon.
To Oregon State, because Oregon State offered me a teaching assistantship. Yeah, and also foreign student tuition was very low. I remember, when I went to Oregon State, each semester the tuition was $32.
Wow.
$32, okay?
Yeah.
And I share an apartment with 2 Hong Kong students, and together we paid $65.
Wow. Yeah.
But that was more than half a century ago.
Yes. But was Cal more expensive?
I don't know. Cal, I don't know. No.
Yeah.
After Oregon State, I did come to Cal to study for my PhD degree. But I only, when I got my master's degrees from Oregon State in statistics, mathematical statistics, I came to Cal and got enrolled in industrial engineering and operation research. Okay, but after two semesters, I was not interested in it, so I left the school and started working. Again, working for the university president's office, which is University Hall now. The University Hall at the corner of Oxford and University was the president's office. Yeah.
So was that a good job? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And the nice thing is that most people who work for a university, they were pretty liberal. Okay, they're liberal and they're more easygoing. But I didn't know the working conditions. I just found out, and I worked there from 1969 until 1978, I think. Okay, more than 8 years. But then I began to feel that it was a little bit too. What should I say? I wanted to have some challenges. I applied to work for Bank of America in headquarters in San Francisco. At that time. Now I think Bank of America headquarters moved to Carolina. North Carolina, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were working at the headquarters.
Yes. Yeah.
Of Bank of America.
Yeah.
Is that in the Trans-America building?
Yeah. No, not Trans-America building. No, it's Bank of America. There were several buildings, but the main building is near the Trans-America Tower. But at first, I worked in Montgomery, in a building in Montgomery Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did that compare to working at the University Hall?
More, I would say more intensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, people work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you stay there for a while?
Let me see. Only 2 years. Only 2 years. Then I got a job with a consulting firm. I was doing, computer work, computer application work. Okay. And I got a job with a consulting firm. Okay. And worked there 1 year. And then I got a job at PG&E. So they're all, in the downtown area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you started working in computers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start already when you were at the university
Yes,
University Hall?
yes,
You were working with computers there.
It's interesting. At that time, it was a very early stage of computer applications in business or organizations. And actually, I had never studied computer science. At Oregon State, I took a Fortran programming course. Okay, and when I began to work for at the university's president's office, I just learned on my own. Yeah. Mainly, yeah. Yeah.
So, but it was a very good time to know how to do computer programming.
Yeah, at that time, a lot of people, even people who studied literature, if they wanted to get a computer job, they could. Yeah. And they were training schools also. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's different. Yeah.
I didn't ask you about where you were living all this time. You married. You met your wife on campus.
Yes. I met my wife, and we both went to Oregon State. Yeah, I met her there. Yeah. And and then when I came to Berkeley first, and as soon as I went to work at the president's office, we got married. Yeah. Yeah.
And where did you live?
In downtown Berkeley. Downtown, very near the city hall. Yeah, city hall. There is a street called McKinley.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
McKinley, and we lived there, and our daughter was born there. Okay. We lived there probably for 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. And then we moved to El Cerrito, near where the city hall was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually you moved to North Berkeley.
Okay. Oh, that was quite a few years later. Yeah, that was in 1973. Yeah. Okay, no. We lived in El Cerrito for only 1 year, I think. Yeah, about 1 year. Yeah. And then we moved to North Berkeley in Flatland, near the school, the King's Middle School. King's Middle School. Yeah.
And your daughter, did she go to Berkeley Public Schools then?
Yes. My son was born in 1973. Yeah, and they both of them went to Berkeley Public Schools. From elementary to middle school, high school. Okay, and my daughter went to Cal for her undergraduate degree. Yeah, but my son didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. How did your kids like the Berkeley Public Schools?
Not pretty well. Yeah. They I guess just like any young people, they just study and play with friends, classmates. Yeah.
Yeah. And do they live nearby? Did they stay in the area or?
Well, well, my daughter after her, they moved away. They lived, like my daughter lived in Seattle, and then New York, yeah, and finally something like 10 years ago, they moved back to first live with us, and then they moved to Marine, Mill Valley. Now they live in Mill Valley. And my son, he made a lot of changes. Yeah, it took him something like 7 years to complete college. And he moved, first he went to UC Santa Barbara, and then he transferred to University of Washington, and then came back to go to Marine Community College, and finally he went to Cal State, San Francisco, in the city, and got finished his college there. Yeah, and after his college, he decided to join the Air Force. Okay, he was very interested in airplane and flights, but he even got some training at a flight school in Oakland, near the Oakland airport. But he has color blind, so he couldn't actually be a pilot. Okay, so anyway, he finally got himself enlisted with the Air Force, and began to be a soldier for 6 years. Okay, yeah, and during that time, he was stationed, at many bases. He even went to Saudi Arabia, and you, what is it called? United Arab Emirates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he went to Japan. He had already left the Air Force, but continued to work as a defense contractor. Okay, in Japan, Sasebo, Kyushu, southern part of Japan, and then the Singapore. Yeah.
Does he live in Asia now?
No, he moved back. He moved back from Singapore here maybe 6-7 years ago. Okay, and work in Monterey. There's an army base there. At that time, he was already doing IT work on the bases. Okay, he worked in the army base in Monterey, and then they moved to Maryland. He got a job with the federal agency called Bureau of Economic Analysis. So the whole family moved to Maryland. When he started to work for the Bureau of Business of Economic Analysis 4-5 years ago.
I'm curious, do either of your children speak either Mandarin or Taiwanese?
Well, that's an interesting question. When my daughter was very little, she was very fluent in Taiwanese. Yeah. But they did not learn much Mandarin. Yeah, they don't read Chinese. They can understand some Mandarin. They can understand more Taiwanese. Okay, but they don't read. They don't really, carry out a conversation, completely in either Chinese or Taiwanese. Yeah.
Do they cook Chinese food mostly?
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But probably not. Not as we do. Just about every dinner.
Yeah. Do they celebrate Chinese holidays?
Yeah. Usually, they, when they was, well, like for instance, my daughter's family, they just live half an hour, away from here by driving. Usually like Lunar New Year, we'll celebrate Lunar New Year together. But that's about it, really. Yeah.
The Moon Festival? Do you celebrate?
No, not really. No. No. Yeah. They are very Americanized.
I see.
Yeah, quite Americanized.
And their children? Do their children? Are they interested in Chinese cuisine or language?
Okay. Like my daughter's son, she has a son, and when the grandson did some class work okay, like social studies. He did some. He did some presentation about Taiwan. Yeah, we helped him. Yeah, he was very interested in that. Yeah.
Has your daughter or her family gone back to visit Taiwan?
Yes. Yeah, she has gone back to Taiwan several times. But oh yeah, when she was 5, and her brother was about 2. Okay, at one summer I took them back to Taiwan. Yeah, that was But when she was just 2, my wife took her back to Taipei. You know, to live at her home, Taipei home. Yeah.
So both you and your wife have family relatives still back in Taipei.
Oh yes. My wife has a big family in Taipei. But now there are some live in Taoyuan. Taoyuan is, it's just a little, maybe 30 miles south of Taipei. Yeah.
Yeah. And so your second oldest brother, and then your third
brother.
And what number are you?
I'm number 4.
Okay. So
both my wife and I, grew up in a very big family. Grew up in big families. We both have 9 brothers and 9 siblings.
Yes.
Siblings,
Yes.
I have 4 brothers, including myself, and 5 sisters. And she has same thing. She has 4 brothers and 5 sisters. Same thing. Yeah.
So you have a lot of nieces and nephews.
Oh yeah.
Grandnieces and nephews.
Her family, her second, third generations, in Taiwan are big. There's.
Yeah. And how about your other 2 brothers? Did they stay here as well? They stay here. Yeah, my second elder brother, after getting his PhD degree in mathematics, became a math professor. Yeah, and he finally moved to San Diego area. To be closer to their son's family. Yeah. So he was a professor here at UC Berkeley?
No, not at UC Berkeley. He taught us, I think, mainly 2 colleges. Yeah, and also did 1 year sabbatical leave at Princeton. What is it called?
School of Advanced.
Yes, Advanced Studies.
Yeah, what's it called? It's some Einstein? Is it physics? Einstein School of Advanced Physics or something. Yeah. And how about your third oldest brother?
He after he got his degree, he went to the Los Angeles area to work. Both of them passed away.
So you are the only one who settled here.
Yeah, I'm in all 4 of the 4 brothers. I'm the only one who is still here. 3 of them passed away already.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But you have quite a few Chinese and Taiwanese friends here.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So some of them came from Taiwan, some came from other places.
Yeah.
And some came from mainland China.
Oh yes, yeah. We before students begin to come from mainland China to study in the U.S. At that time, my friends were all from Taiwan. Yeah. At that time in Berkeley, there were a lot of Taiwanese residents. Okay, and but now there are much fewer now. Yeah.
There are more Chinese from mainland China.
Yes. Yeah.
Were there organizations or where you could meet other Taiwanese students?
Okay, at CAR, I think there is still a Taiwanese student association. Okay, and when most CAR students were from Taiwan, the Chinese students, at the time mostly came from Taiwan. We had Taiwanese association meetings, activities quite a bit. Yeah.
Were there many women, or was it mostly men?
I guess more men than women. Really. Much more men.
So you wouldn't work to have dances?
No, I don't dance.
Oh, you don't dance?
No, I'm not good at that.
You sing though.
Huh?
You sing.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. I used to, but not that much now. I used to love singing. Taiwanese songs, were like very what should I say? Kind of reminiscent. Okay, and we all sang Taiwanese song like Taiwanese Student Association, like annual meeting. There were performances, and I joined the chorus. Yeah.
Nice.
To sing Taiwanese folk songs and popular songs at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. But did you continue to go to the meetings even after you stopped being a student?
No. Now I don't know what they do. No. No.
But did you go when you were working at UC?
Yes. Yeah.
How about the Chinese chapter of the California Alumni Association? Do you know about that group? No.
No, I don't know that. No.
Yeah.
I don't.
And I believe there are quite a few Chinese Christian organizations on campus.
Well, at the time when I was still working for the president office, I didn't know. Yeah, but there was some ministers who were very interested in visiting, Taiwanese families. So once in a while, we'll have a minister who came to our house to talk to us about Christianity. Yeah.
And about your wife, so she worked at the East Asian
Library.
Library.
Yes. Yeah, she when our daughter was about 3 or 4, okay, she began to work, and she always worked there part-time, okay, like half-time. So that was probably starting in about 1975. And she worked part-time until she retired in 2006. So that's quite a few years, yeah, like 30 years. 30 years, yeah.
So did she retire before the new East Asian Library was built or finished?
No, the new East Asian Library she was still working there. At the time, her division was in the building on Oxford. Not when the new library began operation. I think she mostly worked in a building on Oxford near the stadium.
Yes, it doesn't exist anymore. I think they tore it down. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But she is very familiar with the library.
Yeah. Wow. I guess the library can be seen as a symbol of how much more important Asian culture is at the university and in Berkeley.
Oh yeah.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that was a big project. I think the Chancellor Tian Changling, the Chancellor did a lot of fundraising. Okay. Yeah, and that building is now named after the Chancellor Tian Changling. Yeah.
Did you think he was a good chancellor?
Yeah. He was a professor at mechanical engineering department. Yeah.
I guess, do you feel as if there's a lot more awareness of Chinese culture now than when you were, or when your children were growing up here in Berkeley?
Well, I'm sure, yeah. That, I mean, especially, China, People's Republic of China, after the Cultural Revolution, People's Republic of China began to open up, right? We used to, in the Eastern Europe, it's the Iron Curtain.
Yes.
And in Asia, China, it was called Bamboo Curtain. Okay. When the curtains were lifted, people began to, go to China, and people from China began to come to the West, and that's how, cultural activities, begin to increase. Okay, that's yeah.
I didn't ask you, but I meant to. When you came here, were you thinking of staying, or did you think you'd just get a degree and go back to Taiwan?
I was going to stay. Yeah. But this is interesting. Taiwan's economy began to develop, rapidly in the 70s and beginning in the 1970s, and my college, classmates who stayed in Taiwan, they all had, very busy careers. Actually, in my class, only a few, my graduating, the class whom I graduated with, there were about 40 students. Okay, I went to the department called for accounting and statistics. I studied statistics, okay? In the statistics, there were only 7 students, and only 2, myself and a friend, came to the U.S. And the accounting group, practically all of them stayed in Taiwan. Yeah, and they all have very good, jobs, and even has successful businesses.
Yeah. So did you ever think about going back to Taiwan during that period?
No. My parents, wanted me to go back to Taiwan, but I didn't. Yeah.
So you liked it here. This was home by then.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I liked this country a lot. Yeah. It's. I mean, there are, just like any country, there are always some problems. But this country, the constitution and the political system, to me is, eventually, solve those problems, mainly peacefully. There was some violence too, but I like a society like this. Yeah. When I worked for the president's office, the anti-Vietnam War movement was getting very strong.
It was, it was a very turbulent time.
Yeah, turbulent, but it wasn't violent, that's how, people address, common problems. Did you have sympathy for the protesters? Actually, I did not pay much attention to the anti-war movement. The campus was I saw students walking, all around campus, to protest the war. I didn't really pay much attention to what's going on in Vietnam War.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay,
Mr.
great.
Lin. Thank you. It was very interesting.
Well, I hope that's useful, somewhat useful.